Hello, this is The Minute. Today is day 4, jury deliberations in the murder trial of Nemo Momeni. Momeni is accused of stabbing Cash App founder Bob Lee in April of last year. The defense argues it was self-defense. Jurors are weighing 21 days of testimony and thousands of pieces of evidence. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO has ties to the Bay Area. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione worked as a counselor for a studies program at Stanford University in 2019. He is currently behind bars in Pennsylvania, facing second-degree murder charges. Strong early morning winds caused this large tree to fall into a Berkeley home. It happened overnight hours on Eunice Street and Spruce Street. It hit the front deck and caused damage to the roof. As you can see there, no injuries were reported. The Bay Area's only primetime newscast at 8 and 9 p.m. on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
It's another mild day for us today here in the Bay Area with a low 60s expected this afternoon in areas like Santa Rosa and Novato, upper 50s into Napa and Vallejo throughout this afternoon. Now you're going to notice a lot more clouds starting to roll in from offshore as we head into the afternoon hours today. A little bit warmer down into the Santa Clara Valley with upper 60s in areas like Morgan Hill and San Jose. But here's what's happening. We have a new area of low pressure coming in from the north, and that's going to bring in a series of showers starting late tomorrow night. For now, we're just seeing these partly cloudy skies continuing to push in from offshore. Very mild for the most part, but a little bit gusty, especially in the morning hours today. Once we head into Wednesday morning, they're just going to see a very similar trend. It's not until late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning where that first batch of showers rolls in from offshore, starting up in the North Bay in communities like Santa Rosa, Novato, and Petaluma. And that continues to stretch to the south into the overnight hours. This is just around midnight, now impacting the Santa Clara Valley, off into the East Bay, but most of us will be asleep, gearing up for the next work day the following day with a little bit more clear conditions on the back end. Thursday will be pretty mild as we gear up for some wetter conditions for Friday heading into Saturday. So those rainfall chances continue to increase, but here's what's happening for us as we head into this weekend. We're going to see partly cloudy skies mixed with some rain clouds at times for Friday into Saturday. A little bit of cloudier conditions for Sunday, but there's still a chance of showers into early next week too. And look at these daytime highs. We're continuing to cool down as we head into the rest of this week's forecast. Earlier this week, we were close to the 70s in areas like Santa Rosa. Now we're talking about low 60s today, and we're going to continue to cool down into the 50s as we head into the rest of this week, heading into next week too.
Well, the man accused of killing the CEO of United Healthcare expected to be extradited to New York City to face murder charges. And CBS News has learned he's no longer cooperating with authorities. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione is in custody in Pennsylvania facing second-degree murder charges. Police caught up with him after someone recognized him at a McDonald's. He's from a wealthy Maryland family and attended elite schools. Now we're learning of his ties to the Bay Area.
He was born and raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California, and his last known address was Honolulu, Hawaii. He has no prior arrest history in New York.
New York police did not specify what they meant by ties to San Francisco, but Mangione was part of a Stanford program as an AI teaching assistant. We heard from friends of the former Stanford employee.
Beyond shocked. It's unimaginable. You know, I was roommates with him, friends, hiked, went to yoga. He was, did his best to be athletic, and unfathomable, knowing the kind, person that I saw and knew. He was a very thoughtful person, communicated really well, was friendly, had good relationships with everyone.
That roommate said Mangione never seemed like he had an axe to grind, but did say he told them he had major surgery earlier this year.
He sent me the x-rays. It looked heinous with just giant screws going into his spine. After that, he called me once. I didn't pick up. We kind of texted a little bit, but unfortunately, I feel terrible now.
The Mangione family released a statement last night saying they are shocked and devastated. Well, jury deliberations continue today in Nemo Momeni's murder trial in San Francisco. Momeni is charged with fatally stabbing Cash App founder Bob Lee in April of last year. We are not getting any word about the jury's process, whether they have asked to examine evidence or have testimony read back. The court has only told reporters that jurors ring a bell if they have a question. If there is no verdict by Thursday, jurors will be given a choice to return to their lives and be replaced by alternatives. or alternates, but if that happens, deliberations would have to restart. We will bring you the verdict whenever the jury reaches one. You can catch up on all of our coverage of this trial on our website at kpix.com and the free CBS News app. To the fire watch in Los Angeles County, a handful of homes have been destroyed and evacuations now underway after a wildfire exploded overnight in Malibu. The fire is burning not too far from Pepperdine University. Firefighters say more than 8,000 homes are in the area. Multiple water-dropping aircraft are assisting containment efforts, but with the roads closed, residents are facing the impacts of the fire rapidly spreading by the Santa Ana winds.
The fire's like starting to go on top of the mountain and it's like heading down and stuff.
Yeah, and are people being orderly or how's that?
We're supposed to go to like the cafeteria, but we just decided to get like off campus because we didn't want to like risk anything.
I got the family out of the house and this is where I'm at. I was trying to get to Point Doom right now and the road is closed because of the fire from Pepperdine.
As of now, no word on the cause of the fire. At San Francisco State University, the school is facing money problems, will need to slash $25 million from its budget. Many lecturer positions will be among those cut as early as this week. And as our Len Ramirez heard from those who are being let go and those who are fighting for them to stay.
Sean Connolly has made his career as an adjunct lecturer in the humanities department at San Francisco State University.
I spent 17 years of my life here, and I tried to do the best job I possibly could.
But this is one of the last times he'll walk into the classroom as a university employee. He's one of dozens of adjunct lecturers who are losing their jobs as SF State cuts its staff amid a shrinking budget.
Is angering, it's infuriating, and because I know that it doesn't have to go that way. It doesn't have to break that way. This is a choice.
Although adjunct lecturers like Sean are experts in their field,
do you guys have questions? Do you want to talk about stuff?
they typically work on year-to-year contracts with less job security than tenured faculty. The university won't say how many lecturers are being let go, but a statement from the president's office says lecturer hiring is tied to student enrollment, and the numbers are down. Quote, SF State's enrollment has been declining as part of a local and national trend of fewer college-going students. As enrollment has declined, unfortunately, lecturer faculty are being significantly impacted as there are fewer sections to teach, especially course sections, which are populated by incoming freshmen. The university says enrollment is less than 24,000 students, down from about 30,000 in recent years.
It's been a part of my life for most of my life, this university.
Jolie Gorgian is losing her job as a literature and English lecturer after 23 years. She first came to the university as a 17-year-old student and earned undergrad and graduate degrees from here. For her, parting ways is taking a heavy toll.
It's a labor of love. We're not paid well. We work really hard during the school year, and we're devoted to our students. We're devoted to this institution that is obviously not reciprocal in its treatment of us, which also makes it really difficult.
It's just unfair.
Some students are starting to speak out about the cuts and spreading the word that amid the rising cost of education, there could be fewer courses and more crowded classrooms at State University. First-year student and Army veteran Ty Todd is sharing attention-grabbing missing person posters on campus. These have the pictures of SF State lecturers who will be missing next semester.
I'm going to fight for what's right, or what I believe is right, and that's for everybody to be able to major in what they want to. Make smaller classes, make this available. Don't take it away. Don't make people in this economy unemployed.
Jolie is taking steps to retire and possibly find a new career. Sean is also looking for work.
I've been thinking lately that maybe I could do some good things within the California penitentiary or prison system because I know there are people there who are very hungry for some kind of education. But I want to keep teaching because it's a thing that I love and a thing that I think I'm pretty good at. And everyone deserves to have a good education.
Sean's last day of teaching at SF State is December 11th.
Another setback for SFU. The school is anticipating to get less money from the state because of cuts to the state budget. Right now, more than 1 million people are incarcerated across the United States. For the past 30 years, the Berkeley-based Prisoners Literature Project has continued to send hundreds of thousands of books to people behind bars. Our Amanda Harry shows us how and why they've been able to keep the program running for so many years.
Between going to class, studying, and applying for jobs, UC Berkeley senior Zoe Blunt spends her free time scouring these shelves for books.
Fulfilling a request right now.
But none are for her. They're for incarcerated people across the country.
Just thinking about you, sending you my strength and empathy.
She handwrites a note to each person, thanking them for their request to the Prisoners Literature Project. For some, it's the only mail they'll receive this holiday season. She hopes her small act will make a big difference and bring a smile to the face of the people who receive the books.
I always put a little doodle on there because I feel like it's cute personally.
PLP is an all-volunteer grassroots nonprofit. They send free reading material to people behind bars with hopes of improving their lives.
Every book we send out is just a little boost to someone who's trying to broaden their perspective or change their circumstances or increase their chances of success.
The books range from fiction to textbooks. Christopher Gales has been volunteering with PLP for more than 8 years. His kid learned about the group through a school project, and Gales decided to help out too. The group sends out about 1,200 packages a month. Most of the books are donated or purchased at a discount at library sales. Every prison has different restrictions. They have a binder filled with the guidelines about how many books can be sent, the condition of the books, and even the content.
How they're really verging on censorship now.
But still, they try to work around it, even going as far as to rip maps out of Game of Thrones to prevent it from being sent back because of a no maps rule. And the prisoners appreciate it.
We have 2 bulletin boards that are crammed with thank you notes.
One letter says, "You let a little bit of sunshine into our otherwise dark and dismal cells we're attempting to thrive in." Blunt's favorite part is reading and writing the letters.
This is a process that rehumanizes the people that have been like historically and contemporarily dehumanized. So it gives you a chance to, wish them well and just tell them that you're thinking about them and you're happy that you're able to support them.
Blunt has spent her college career studying the prison system and how it impacts women of color. She says this volunteer work has helped solidify her desire to continue to help incarcerated people after college.
All we have is each other, and if we're ever going to get free, it's like we need to be helping each other.
Combating the incarceration system with knowledge and kindness.
Well, the group says the best way people can support them is financially. Their biggest expense is postage. Each package costs about $6 to send out, and they hope to send out as many packages as possible over the holiday season. Still ahead on CBS News Bay Area, Oakland may be getting a new mayor, but the whole problems are not going away. City leaders consider painful cuts to close a massive budget deficit.
Sort of that uncertainty of what should I be doing right now? Should I be applying for a job somewhere else?
The city now weighing different options in the face of a massive budget crisis, which will almost certainly include cuts to some critical public safety services. Plus, we'll hear from the new interim district attorney in Alameda County what he plans to do differently from Pamela Price. And food insecurity is a problem all year long, how inflation is hurting families and our food banks.
It is worth noting that our friends in the North Bay are going to see their first batch of showers well before we do down near the peninsula and the Santa Clara Valley. That starts late tomorrow night, just around 9 o'clock. Starting up in the North Bay, we'll see light to moderate rain into the overnight hours for Wednesday. As we continue to advance the clock early Thursday morning, that will push its way down into the Santa Clara Valley, off into the East Bay, with some breaks in the rain at times too. But let's be honest, most of us are going to be sleeping. As we wake up Thursday morning, you'll probably smell that rain outside. You're probably going to notice some slick surfaces, but it will dry up on the back end as we head into Thursday afternoon. We are going to see some unsettled weather as we head into the next couple days after that, though, and I'll have more on that coming up in a bit.
Well, to Oakland now, where city leaders say they have enough money to avoid a fiscal emergency, but they still have to figure out what to cut to close a $130 million deficit. Concern over budget cuts and public safety comes after a wild weekend in town. That included a mob ransacking a gas station, a car on fire, and a sideshow spectator hit and thrown into the air. This is certainly not the time residents of Oakland want to see cuts to the police, but that may be the case. Our Wilson Walker reports anxiety is high about what will come next.
It definitely puts people on edge. Then further compounded where you kind of look that this is a holiday season and you're talking about 2 weeks out from Christmas, 3 weeks out from Christmas.
A union leader and an IT employee for the city of Oakland, Julian Ware, was among those who packed city council's discussion of the $130 million budget deficit.
It really puts people on edge because, it's sort of that uncertainty of what should I be doing right now? Should I be applying for a job somewhere else?
The city is still weighing different options, but still on the table are fire station brownouts, a freeze of police recruiting, and a host of cuts to smaller programs across the city.
This does call for the elimination of the Ambassador program to the tune of $1.1 million.
And the looming cuts drew a crowd. More than 80 people signed up to speak about how different budget moves might affect residents.
You took the parking enforcement technicians away from parking to deal with the issue of abandoned vehicles. That's what you were using them for. So you take them away from abandoned vehicles and return them to parking. Who's going to deal with these abandoned vehicles? You got to have somebody deal with that.
It's actually very sad. It just breaks my heart to see the budget crisis that we're going through right now. It doesn't have to be that way.
Rania Webb watched the meeting as Oakland's newest official candidate for mayor. How to resolve the structural problems that produced the budget crisis will no doubt be a central discussion as Oakland tries to resolve its political uncertainty.
With integrity, with transparency, that are going to be using our tax dollars for what their intended purpose is, to clean up our streets, to support our police.
And all of these questions will remain unanswered, at least for now, as the mayor's race takes shape and the budget talks continue.
All the just kind of vulnerability that people have at this period is incredibly unsettling, especially since we've been discussing this for over a year.
Well, council members set to vote on budget cuts during their next meeting next week. As Wilson mentioned, it will be a musical game of chairs between the time Mayor Sheng Tao leaves next week until the next mayor is elected in April. Our Ann Makovic spoke to one of the leaders of the Oakland's NAACP about what she wants to see in the next mayor.
That's number one, is public safety.
Right.
We don't want anything to endanger any decision that any elected official make. We do not want it to endanger the safety of Oaklanders. And that's what I would say to the next person coming in.
Council President Nikki Fortunato-Boss is set to become the interim mayor next week. The Alameda County Board of Supervisors meets tonight to finalize the appointment of the interim district attorney following the recall of Pamela Price. Royal Roberts, chosen by Price, faces criticism due to his lack of prosecutorial experience. Roberts is not an experienced prosecutor. In fact, Price's chief assistant only has 2 years' experience as a practicing attorney. But as our John Ramos says, the interim DA does have a message for those breaking the law in the East Bay.
Royal Roberts is in a tough spot. He was handpicked to take over the Alameda County District Attorney's office by the very woman who was soundly defeated in a recall election. And there are those who question why he was ever hired to be in the office in the first place. At her farewell press conference in November, Pamela Price expressed confidence in the ability of her second-in-command, Royal Roberts, to lead the district attorney's office despite having zero experience as a criminal prosecutor.
Leading an agency with a budget over $100 million and 400+ employees requires far more knowledge, skill, and experience than just being a line deputy, a criminal prosecutor.
With Price's name still emblazoned on the front door, Roberts sat down to talk about what the public can expect in the interim.
Well, first, what I would say is I'm not Pamela Price. I'm Royal Roberts, and I see my role as a little different. The voters have spoken, and I think it's important to listen to the voters when they do speak. I see my job and my role as bridging this time frame until the next person runs for this office on a permanent basis. I want to do what's best for Alameda County, and that is to use my expertise to continue the operations of this office.
His expertise does not include the courtroom, having only gotten a license to practice law in 2022. Prior to that, he served in managerial positions for 10 years for private businesses, ending up as general counsel for the Peralta Community College District. Roberts says his focus will be on keeping the prosecutor's office operational.
The district attorney of Alameda County is not in the courtroom prosecuting cases on a daily basis. This is really a person who has a wide variety of managerial responsibilities. Like any good manager, what I've done is put the experts in place to assist me in running this operation.
Well, good. That's great, because that's what he needs to do. Yeah, he's the administrative officer right now. He's the office manager.
Brenda Grisham is an anti-gun violence activist who helped lead the Price recall. She says she's not sure why the ousted official got to pick her replacement as she walked out the door.
Well, we all know firsthand most of the personnel that she hired weren't qualified for the positions that they were hired for. And so that caused a big problem in the administration as well. You have to have qualified people running something like that. You know, there are certain qualifications that you need in order to run that office. And you know, he is the second in command, so now he's the first in command. But him being a permanent leader, I doubt that very seriously.
That's the position Roberts finds himself in. But unless the Board of Supervisors appoints someone else to fill the position until another election in 2026, it's his job to do. And he says he has a message for both the public and those causing mayhem in the streets.
If you commit a crime, if you are charged, you will be prosecuted.
Do you think that's a message that they have been getting out in the streets for the last 2 years?
I can't speak to what message they have received prior to me coming into this position, but that's the message that I can tell you it is right now.
Roberts has no idea how long he will be in the position. The Board of Supervisors is expected to finalize the process for picking Price's replacement at Tuesday night's meeting. It could be Roberts or someone else, which means the district attorney's office will continue to sail on without a clear sense of direction.
Well, it is possible the board could select a replacement DA as soon as January. Roberts says he currently has no plans to run for the office in 2026. Former LA Congressman Adam Schiff has been officially sworn into the U.S. Senate. He will not now finish out the term of late Senator Dianne Feinstein this year, which had been filled by LaFonza Butler. Then Schiff will begin sworn in again in January for his full 6-year term. Schiff will join a Republican majority Senate ahead of the second Trump term. Schiff has been one of Trump's most outspoken critics, leading the charge in the first impeachment proceedings of Trump in the House. In response, Trump loyalists voted to censure Schiff in 2023. Schiff says he wears it as a badge of honor. Still ahead, more families than ever facing food insecurity, how inflation is also hurting the food banks that help them.
expect as we head out the door throughout the next couple days. Partly cloudy skies for us this afternoon. Really, today's just a nice mild setup for us for any outdoor activities despite the winds. Once we head into our forecast tomorrow, late night around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that's when those showers start forming up in the North Bay. This is going to be the first of many, many batches of showers that will continue to sweep throughout the Bay Area as we head into this weekend and early next week. Notice into those overnight hours, we're now starting to see spotty on and off showers, but there's still moderate pockets of rain too. That's the big concern for those slick roads for any overnight commuters. We dry up a little bit on the back end for Thursday, but we will see more on and off showers throughout this weekend and early next week too. Rain chances really start to increase at that point. But here's what it's going to look like for us. Today is the dry day that we all need, and we all need to really take advantage of to prepare. We're still seeing a mix of sun and clouds in the forecast for us today. Tomorrow, late night, that's when that rain returns, and we'll continue to watch more on and off showers throughout Friday night into Saturday morning. It'll be a wet weekend ahead of us with some breaks at times too, so make sure you're keeping updated with us here in the Weather Center. We'll continue to tell you those breaks as we head into the weekend and early next week if you do have any outdoor plans. Here's what we can expect though for those daytime highs. Low 60s for now, quickly turning into upper 50s heading into this weekend, and we'll continue to hold on tight to that cool weather pattern as we head into next week.
Well, San Jose celebrated the grand opening of a new park in the city's Coyote and Center neighborhoods, and now the city wants the people who live there to help give it a name. The park is located between Center Road and Serenade Way. It includes outdoor exercise equipment, tables and chairs, and even a bit of San Jose history.
This alarm, if you will, was put there in World War II to alert us if there were any bombing raids by the Japanese. The beauty of this is I think it gives people a chance to really think about the past, reflect on the future, and really take in a little bit of the history that we have scattered around the city of San Jose.
Jimenez says the space used to be littered with trash from illegal dumping and homeless encampments before the Parks and Rec Department took it over. Food insecurity in the Bay Area is a problem all year long, and food banks in the community are working hard to make sure people don't go hungry. We continue to put a spotlight on food for Bay Area families. Our Veronica Macias is at the San Francisco Marin Food Bank to see what they need most this season.
Here at the San Francisco Marin Food Bank, we're in the warehouse where you have lots going on. You have thousands of pounds of food going out to the community, families in need, where we're hearing the need is higher than ever, even since the pandemic, we're told. And we're going to be talking to the Chief Philanthropy Officer here at the food bank, Chris Padula. Tell us about the situation you're facing, the partners that you have, and the services that you provide to the community.
Sure, thank you. So right now we're seeing the need as high as ever. It continues to grow here in San Francisco and Marin, and we work with over 350 partners across the two counties to ensure that our neighbors are getting fed every single day of the year.
Talk to me about the inflation aspect of things and how that really has changed things with donation and need just continuing to increase.
Well, inflation is impacting our participants. We know the cost of living is really high here, so more and more of our neighbors are feeling squeezed. That's also impacting the food bank. Our costs have gone up significantly. We're now spending twice as much on food as we were before the pandemic. So it's impacting both our clients as well as ourselves.
Okay. And as far as the message to the community that we're sending out right now, we know that the need is here, and we're emphasizing this is the time to give.
This is the time to give. We know folks want to give back to their community in November and December. Right now we have some amazing matches that are happening. We have some donors that have stepped up and are willing to match all gifts 2 to 1. So you can go to our website. Any gift matters here in our community.
We want to see you help make that difference at our food banks.
Well, to learn more how you can donate food or money and volunteer your time, you can use the QR code on your screen or head to our website, kpix.com/give. For every dollar raised, a Bay Area family will receive 2 meals. Coming up in our next half hour in CBS News Bay Area.
It's hard dealing with crimes, and it's hard for us to stay in Oakland to conduct business.
Businesses in the troubled part of Oakland keeping a close eye on crime. We hear from one business owner who says something needs to be done for his restaurant to survive. Plus, a small East Bay business owner unable to advertise after her social media accounts were hacked. the exhausting back and forth to try to get them back during a crucial time for her business. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is the Minute. Jury deliberations of the Momeni murder trial continue this morning. Momeni is accused of stabbing and killing Cash App founder Bob Lee in April of last year. His defense attorneys argue it was self-defense. Jurors are weighing 21 days of testimony and thousands of pieces of evidence. Well, this morning, San Francisco city leaders will highlight the city's violence prevention efforts. Police Chief Bill Scott and Mayor London Breed will speak about a drop in gun violence and homicide rates. That is happening at the SFPD headquarters. San Francisco Unified School District will meet tonight to discuss a financial stabilization plan. The district is facing a $113 million budget deficit. According to Superintendent Maria Sue, solutions could include buyouts for senior employees, but school closures are off the table. The Bay Area's only primetime newscast at 8 and 9 p.m. on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is The Minute.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
It's another mild day for us today here in the Bay Area with a low 60s expected this afternoon in areas like Santa Rosa and Novato, upper 50s into Napa and Vallejo throughout this afternoon. Now you're going to notice a lot more clouds starting to roll in from offshore as we head into the afternoon hours today. A little bit warmer down into the Santa Clara Valley with upper 60s in areas like Morgan Hill and San Jose. But here's what's happening. We have a new area of low pressure coming in from the north, and that's going to bring in a series of showers starting late tomorrow night. For now, we're just seeing these partly cloudy skies continuing to push in from offshore. Very mild for the most part, but a little bit gusty, especially in the morning hours today. Once we head into Wednesday morning, they're just going to see a very similar trend. It's not until late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning where that first batch of showers rolls in from offshore, starting up in the North Bay in communities like Santa Rosa, Novato, and Petaluma. And that continues to stretch to the south into the overnight hours. This is just around midnight, now impacting the Santa Clara Valley, off into the East Bay, but most of us will be asleep, gearing up for the next work day the following day with a little bit more clear conditions on the back end. Thursday will be pretty mild as we gear up for some wetter conditions for Friday heading into Saturday. So those rainfall chances continue to increase, but here's what's happening for us as we head into this weekend. We're going to see partly cloudy skies mixed with some rain clouds at times for Friday into Saturday. A little bit of cloudier conditions for Sunday, but there's still a chance of showers into early next week too. And look at these daytime highs. We're continuing to cool down as we head into the rest of this week's forecast. Earlier this week, we were close to the 70s in areas like Santa Rosa. Now we're talking about low 60s today, and we're going to continue to cool down into the 50s as we head into the rest of this week, heading into next week too.
Well, businesses along Oakland's Hagenberger corridor are paying close attention to what happens with public safety in the city. It's been a tough few years with many stores closing, citing an increase in crime. Now a burger joint in the area just took a discouraging hit. Kara St. Cyr spoke with the owner, who says something needs to be done for his business to survive.
Alan Liang's burger joint on Hagenberger Street in Oakland is one of the last businesses still operating in the corridor. But a recent robbery is pushing Liang over the edge.
We small business owners are trying to survive, but it's hard dealing with crimes, and it's hard for us to stay in Oakland to conduct business.
Liang says 3 people barged into his restaurant, Hagenberger, early Monday morning, threatening his cook at gunpoint. The group demanded he empty the cash register and turn over all the money before heading out of the front door. Liang says he's out of hundreds of dollars.
It's very consistent. We see this on a daily basis. We see robberies, burglaries. We see carjacking on a daily basis.
What happened to Liang's burger restaurant isn't an isolated incident. His collision shop and tow shop next door have also been hit this year.
We have a car stolen from the towing company out of our impound lots. And then 2 weeks ago, someone came to the body shop to steal a customer's vehicle.
The Hagenberger corridor is a hotspot for criminal activity, especially for theft. Just over the weekend, the gas station across the street from Liang's business was burglarized. During the summer, police responded to a string of 16 burglaries near Hagenberger Road and Collins Drive.
Is that Philly cheese good?
Ken Houston, the councilman-elect for District 7, which includes the Hagenberger corridor, says the near-constant crime is killing a vital part of Oakland's economic integrity.
We have to bring back the healthy fear and respect. I continue to say healthy fear and respect of what? Of law enforcement, and we have to have inclusion.
Houston says small businesses can't survive in the Hagenberger corridor's current climate and need decisive action from city leaders.
This area has deteriorated. It has deteriorated because of leadership, and it's been forgotten. But they forget that we have the international airport here. We have the auto dealerships here. We have Amtrak. This is an economic engine.
Meanwhile, Liang doesn't know if he'll be able to stay in the area. His hope is that a new administration might bring about change.
Well, Northern California community rallying around the family of 2 kindergartners shot at a school in Butte County. Last night, the community held a chili fundraiser in nearby Oroville to support the victims' families during this very difficult time.
It's better than nothing when you're in a desperate place. We don't know what these families are going through. It's Christmas time. We don't know what bills they have. We don't know how much it costs for lodging right now.
The 2 boys who were shot remain in the hospital are now in stable condition. The gunman killed himself on the playground, reportedly targeted the Adventist school for its religious affiliation. California's Attorney General is backing a new bill to protect minors from addictive social media use. It would require social media platforms to display a warning box about social media's harmful effects at least once a week. The California Justice Department says kids and teens who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media double the risk of experiencing poor mental health, including depression and anxiety and thoughts of suicide. A mother whose daughter took her own life spoke in support of that legislation.
My beautiful daughter Alexandra isn't here to tell her story because she died by suicide 4 months ago at the age of 16. There is not a bone in my body that doubts social media played a role in leading her to that final irreversible decision.
Well, California is one of many states looking to protect minors from the harmful effects of social media. Australia recently banned kids from using social media until they turn 16. A lot of small businesses rely on social media to bring in customers, but one Livermore winemaker says hackers took over her accounts. As Max Darrow shows us, it's been a battle for her to get her account back at a critical time for her business.
As is the case for all small business owners, Aaliyah Natoto, the founder and winemaker of Free Range Flower Winery, is really busy this holiday season. On the to-do list on this day, sanitize her equipment, a crucial step before bottling. Once bottled,
This is going to have the sparkling rose hibiscus.
she's hoping to sell a lot of her unique wine. After all, holiday sales set the tone for the new year. But Natoto is behind. Far behind because of an issue she's been working day in and day out to solve from behind her keyboard.
I've lost over a month of advertising
Nitoto's Facebook and Instagram business accounts, which she relies on for advertising and reaching new customers, got hacked. The hackers used her cards to take out thousands of dollars worth of ads, which appear to be for janitorial and dental services in Vietnam.
In the last month, I've had less people coming into the tasting room, and my sales have dropped off considerably.
She worked with her bank to cancel her cards, but she got locked out of her ad account on Meta because of the outstanding balance run up by the hackers. She tried to get in touch with Meta support for help, which she says was a confusing process that led her to more trouble. She wasn't able to speak with a person and ended up chatting on Facebook Messenger with someone who she believed was support, but likely was a third party, adding insult to injury.
I feel like this was not a conversation with support. It was a conversation with a collection agency that didn't care about anything but getting their money back, getting their money.
That conversation went nowhere. A few weeks later, Nitoto finally got in touch with a human confirmed to be with Meta support. A week after that, she received this email saying the hackers were out, she doesn't owe any money, and the situation was resolved. But Nitoto says she still can't access her account.
I still am not able to get in.
And once again, she's feeling powerless.
People are not really getting the help that they deserve to get.
Justin Klosko is with Consumer Watchdog and says Nitoto's experience is becoming increasingly common.
The state attorney general's offices around the country are having to basically become Meta's customer service enforcers.
Earlier this year, 41 attorney general's offices signed on to a letter to Meta telling them it's imperative the company find solutions to this problem.
They're really the only ones doing anything right now.
Nitoto is trying to find new ways to interface with potential customers without ads on social media.
I'm doing everything in my power to reach an audience, but it's much more difficult.
Nonetheless, she's trying to stay positive that the problem won't persist through the rest of the holiday season.
Well, up next, the 49ers are hoping for back-to-back victories for a chance at the playoffs, the team meeting that might have saved their season.
hoping that our friends in the North Bay are going to see their first batch of showers well before we do down near the peninsula and the Santa Clara Valley. That starts late tomorrow night, just around 9 o'clock. Starting up in the North Bay, we'll see light to moderate rain into the overnight hours for Wednesday. As we continue to advance the clock early Thursday morning, that will push its way down into the Santa Clara Valley, off into the East Bay, with some breaks in the rain at times too. But let's be honest, most of us are going to be sleeping. As we wake up Thursday morning, you'll probably smell that rain outside. You're probably going to notice some slick surfaces, but it will dry up on the back end as we head into Thursday afternoon. We are going to see some unsettled weather as we head into the next couple days after that, though, and I'll have more on that coming up in a bit.
Well, the Niners host the Rams Thursday night at Levi Stadium. As Vern Glenn explains, they are hoping to pick up where they left off against the Bears.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
Kyle Shanahan had several players address the team prior to Sunday's game. What was the message? Well, the first rule of team meetings is you don't talk about team meetings.
Who talked about the team meeting?
Kyle.
Shanahan did? He would talk about his own team meeting. That's crazy.
It appears they got the message. Now we'll see if they can sustain it for the final 4 games.
Play desperate because you just haven't really sensed that. And I've been on teams where it felt like, was it 2 years ago we were on an 8-9 game win streak, whatever that was. And it literally felt like every play people were just scratching, clawing, and fighting for everything. And you're playing like, hey, if we don't win this game, our season potentially is over. That desperation fuels guys in different ways.
George Kittle played like a desperate man. He had 138 yards receiving in the first half and finished with 151, his most in a game since 2021. But Kyle Shanahan noticed one thing missing: no tutties.
We just give him some crap for getting tackled inside the 5 twice.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
Well, first pitch for the Major League Baseball season is just a few months away, and season tickets are on sale for the A's for their 2025 season, their first in Sacramento. The team is set to play 81 home games at Sutter Health Park, the home of their AAA affiliate, the River Cats. The ballpark only seats about 14,000 people, is undergoing some renovations to make it suitable for the major leagues. Well, coming up, a Bay Area holiday tradition with a powerful message. We will head to San Francisco for the annual lighting of the Tree of Hope.
Feels like a very uncertain time for people. So I think it's important that people find what makes them hopeful.
expect as we head out the door throughout the next couple days. Partly cloudy skies for us this afternoon. Really, today's just a nice mild setup for us for any outdoor activities despite the winds. Once we head into our forecast tomorrow, late night around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that's when those showers start forming up in the North Bay. This is going to be the first of many, many batches of showers that will continue to sweep throughout the Bay Area as we head into this weekend and early next week. Notice into those overnight hours, we're now starting to see spotty on and off showers, but there's still moderate pockets of rain too. That's the big concern for those slick roads for any overnight commuters. We dry up a little bit on the back end for Thursday, but we will see more on and off showers throughout this weekend and early next week too. Rain chances really start to increase at that point. But here's what it's going to look like for us. Today is the dry day that we all need, and we all need to really take advantage of to prepare. We're still seeing a mix of sun and clouds in the forecast for us today. Tomorrow, late night, that's when that rain returns, and we'll continue to watch more on and off showers throughout Friday night into Saturday morning. It'll be a wet weekend ahead of us with some breaks at times too, so make sure you're keeping updated with us here in the Weather Center. We'll continue to tell you those breaks as we head into the weekend and early next week if you do have any outdoor plans. Here's what we can expect though for those daytime highs. Low 60s for now, quickly turning into upper 50s heading into this weekend, and we'll continue to hold on tight to that cool weather pattern as we head into next week.
This holiday season, we're spotlighting our annual Food for Bay Area Families Drive, which supports hungry families. Our Lauren Toms went to the North Bay where the Redwood Empire Food Bank just got a big boost from a business that has been donating for 25 years.
Hey there, well, the season of giving is upon us, and the hard work of people here at the Redwood Empire Food Bank is making sure that nobody goes hungry this holiday season, not just here in Sonoma County, but all up through Northern California. And that is made possible through the generosity of members of your community, including Jackson Family Wines, where you guys this year are donating $1,000 for really every year that you've been donating to the Redwood Empire Food Bank. So, Katie, what is so significant about this year's donation?
Well, we at Jackson Family Wines are so proud of the work that the Redwood Empire Food Bank does and all they do to support people in our communities. And this year we're hoping that through our donation we can help them keep food on everybody's plates this holiday season.
And Katie, I want to introduce you to Brianne with the Redwood Empire Food Bank. Brianne, what is the impact you hope this donation will have?
Well, we are so grateful for the 25-year partnership we've had with Jackson Family Wines and for their generosity throughout the years. This year especially, we're seeing about a 10% increase in need from the community, and so this is really going to help us to keep food on the tables of children and seniors and families in our community.
Well, thank you both for all that you are doing. And at home, if you are interested in giving this holiday season, check out kpix.com/give or that QR code on your screen to find out more about how your generosity can impact your community.
Well, the San Francisco and the holiday celebration, it is as unique as the city itself. And as our Kelsey Thord shows us, it features a one-of-a-kind tree and a crowd getting behind a powerful message.
You guys ready to count? Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The World Tree of Hope is now shining bright at Grace Cathedral in downtown San Francisco. The tree, unlike any other in the world, decorated with close to 20,000 origami cranes.
Incredible. There's so many cranes it looks like it's snow-flocked. That's what's so amazing.
Linda Mihara has been the tree's lead designer since its inception 19 years ago. Origami is not just a pastime for her, it's a family tradition.
I've been doing origami since I was 5 years old, and my grandfather wrote 2 of the first books in English on origami, so origami runs in my blood.
The tree, a symbol of hope for so many across the globe. Each origami crane has a handwritten wish on it, sent in by people both near and far.
They come in from all over the world, and we also have some special wishes on the tree from President Obama, Jane Goodall, Hillary Clinton, Courtney Cox, RuPaul. But really, it's the people's tree.
Jeff Cotter, the founder and executive director of Rainbow World Fund, says this year the tree seems to mean just that much more to so many.
It feels like a very uncertain time for people. So I think it's important that people find what makes them hopeful and also try to connect with their family and their communities as much as possible.
That is exactly what Linda says the World Tree of Hope is there for, to connect people across oceans and divides, and to show the power of a simple act like folding origami.
For me, when I see it, I reflect on all the years that I've been involved with it. And at the end of each year, when I see the tree, I think about continuing and just loving the fact that everybody's celebrating folding origami.
Well, thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. We'll be right back with the First Alert forecast and a look at your top stories.